Good. Well, welcome. If you're coming here for the first time, it's really, really great to have everyone here. We started this journey on Monday, and this is a 5-day crypto bootcamp. And like we said at the beginning, this is for you if you're just coming into the cryptocurrency space, you've been confused by a lot of the noise out there, and you're looking for a quiet, straightforward way to get involved with cryptocurrencies, right? This 5-day bootcamp is designed especially for you in mind. But even if you're here and you're an experienced practitioner, you're a veteran, I think there's a couple of things that you will learn from the bootcamp in general and from today's class in particular. Remember I said, day one, day two, we're really walking, crawling, just helping everybody come up to speed. But the plane is taking off today. So you might need to watch the recording a couple of times when we are done here. But don't worry, I will try to carry everyone along. We will have the traditional session at the end where you'll be able to ask questions on anything that isn't clear. Today's class may go a bit longer than for the first 2 days. I think the first 2 days were somewhere between 80 and 90 minutes. This might go a bit longer, but let's just get right into it. So as you can see on the slide, the real fireworks begin today. Okay, right? This is where we get into the specifics of how you can profit from cryptocurrencies or digital currencies. Okay, so as is customary for us, we're going to just lay the agenda so that you know what you're getting out of the conversation today. And as you can see, it's packed. There's a lot of things that we have to cover. So I'm going to go through as efficiently as I can, because I do want to leave some time for questions at the back end of this, so that if there's something that isn't clear, or if there's something you want me to go over again, I'll have some time to do that. Okay. Speaking of ground rules, if you do have questions, help me out. Keep them till the end. Okay, and we'll go through as many questions as we can. All right. So if everyone is ready to get started, can you put the 3 on the chat so that we'll know that we're ready to kick this off? And, by the way, hold on to your spots, because I do think a lot more people are going to jump into the class. So just hold on and speak to your network, right? That your network shouldn't kick you out, because you don't want to miss any part of this. All right. So let's get right into this. If you've been here for day 1 and day 2, you've seen this slide, right? And this is how we're navigating through the 5 days of this crypto bootcamp. Okay, so you saw the flyer. The flyer is all about how do you start your crypto journey in 2022. Okay, and we're using the letters of the word start to help us think about the 5 important elements or pillars, right, when we are thinking about investing in cryptocurrency. Now, this is not the popular thing you will see outside. Outside you generally hear, people go straight to buy this cryptocurrency or buy that cryptocurrency, but there's a lot more that you need to consider. And hopefully from day 1 and day 2, you've seen from our discussion on security and our discussion on the tools that you will need, that there's more to this cryptocurrency thing than just buy Bitcoin, sell Ethereum, retire and, relocate to the Bahamas. Okay, there's a lot more to it than that. Today is day 3. And so we're going to be talking about access. Now, access to what? Access to education, mentorship, and proven strategies. And I'll be explaining to you why that is very important for your success in the cryptocurrency space. But before we get too far down the road, let's do a recap of what we did yesterday on day 2. Now, day 2, we talked about the tools that we use in this space. And this single slide summarizes pretty much everything that we talked about on day 2. So in day 2, we told you, we talked about, okay, if you've not gotten involved in cryptocurrencies at all prior to now, the first thing you're going to need to do is get your real world money, whatever currency it is, into something called a centralized exchange. And we talked about Binance, Kraken, and I'm really excited about those of you who reached out on IG, and just from the conversations we had, it was obvious that you had started, opening these different accounts. That's really good. Okay, really glad that you're implementing what you're learning. Okay, that's the way you're going to profit here. So you get your real world money into a centralized cryptocurrency exchange. Why do you do that? You do that because this is the only way you can convert real world money into a cryptocurrency today. Okay, there's no other way. You have to use a centralized exchange. And remember that I mentioned that when you're opening these accounts, especially on Binance, where you need to be verified to use your account, they're going to ask you for identifying information like your passports, your international passports, that is, or a driver's license, so that they know who's using the platform. Okay, because the last thing they want is, criminals who are nameless and faceless using their platform and just transferring millions of dollars, right? So that's why they ask to identify you before you can use Binance. All right, so you get your real world money into a centralized exchange. From there, you move that money into, you move that crypto, right? The crypto that you buy here, into something called a decentralized wallet. And we showed you yesterday how you can set up a MetaMask wallet. Now, once you do this and you have cryptocurrency on here, you will be interacting with multiple websites. So today, you're going to see a few examples of these websites that you can interact with. And I'm going to show you live how those websites work. Okay. Now, there is a second path that you can take, okay, which also involves profiting from cryptocurrencies. You can take your real world money and open something called a brokerage account. And I give examples of brokers that you can do this with, IC Markets, XNES, Kings of Transparency, just 3 to name a few. And what you'll be doing here is you are trading cryptocurrencies. So you're profiting when the price goes up or down, okay? Now, what are these 2 devices doing here? Because these devices were not on the original slide that I showed yesterday. This is just to reinforce the point that, as far as I am concerned, now this is my opinion, okay? It is best practice for you to use a dedicated laptop to access all of these things we show here: centralized exchanges, decentralized wallets, and the different websites where you will interact with crypto, or if you want to open a brokerage account, okay? And I talked extensively about security. So if you need to catch up, we already sent, links to the recordings for the previous 2 classes. And I'm glad that I've seen some of you have already started watching those videos. Hopefully you're learning things and you're implementing. Okay, so one of the things you need to learn is it's best practice to use a dedicated laptop to interact with these applications and tools. Okay, I know a laptop is an additional investment, but the mindset you should bring to this space is that you want to be here for the long term. Okay, this is not something you do on Monday and then by Friday, you're knocking on Dangote's office because you want to be on his board because you think you have enough money, right? This is not how this works. You need to have a long-term mindset to succeed in this place, right? So that's why you need a dedicated laptop, and it's going to help you for security purposes. Now, the second thing you should be aware of is we talked about your smartphone. Now, the only thing that you should have on your smartphone related to cryptocurrencies is Google Authenticator. So you go to your App Store or the Play Store, depending on what operating system you're using, download Google Authenticator, and you need to link it to the accounts you create when you're opening a centralized exchange account. There's one thing that we talked about that is not on here, which is the email that you should use when you're interacting with centralized exchanges. Let me just do a quick check. in the class to be sure that everybody's aware what that email is. So what's the email that we recommend here that you should use when you're interacting with centralized exchanges? Fantastic, thank you. It's Proton Mail, okay? It's Proton Mail, it's based on blockchain technology. So that's what you should use here. So do not use Gmail, Hotmail, whatever all those general purpose emails. Don't do that here, please. Okay, I am appealing with you. All right, so it's good that we're all caught up now. I think we can make progress and go on to what we have for day 3. So let's kick off day 3 with this slide. Okay, so we are on A. So we talked about S for security, T for tools. Now we are here on A for access. And it's access to what? There's 3 things that you need access to, right, to achieve long-term success in investing in cryptocurrencies. And these 3 things, they are on the slide. It's education, mentorship, and strategies. And I'm only going to spend a few minutes here because I believe these things are self-evident. But if they are not, let me make a few points, okay, so that we can drive home the importance of access to these 3 things. The first thing is education. Now, notice I didn't say you need knowledge. I said you need education. There's a difference, okay? Knowledge is just information that you acquire and you put in your head, okay? That doesn't benefit you in any way, okay? That you know something doesn't mean you can benefit from it, okay? However, what you need is education, okay? And there's 3 things, right? That 3 ways you will know that you are educated. 1, you have knowledge that is organized. So it's not just getting random pieces of information, is having an organized way to process all of that information so that it makes sense to you. Okay, so that's the first thing. You need knowledge that is organized. And hopefully you are getting a sense of how that organization works, right? From the sequential process we are using to go through the content in this class or in this 5-day bootcamp. So you need knowledge that's organized. But beyond that, you need to know how to apply that knowledge intelligently. Okay? So which means, your brain needs to be switched on in this space. Okay? This is the last place you want to come to switch off your brain and you're just listening to what someone else is saying, including myself, right? And you're just going ahead and applying it, right? That's the fastest way to lose your money and to, end this in a very, very end up in a sorrowful place. So you need to intelligently apply the information, okay? And the final thing is you need a definite purpose. So you need to understand why you are even investing in cryptocurrencies in the first place, okay? So that's education. Education is knowledge that's organized. Then you apply that knowledge intelligently to something that is definite, to something that you're looking to achieve. That's how you know you are educated. And that's why we're saying that if you just come here, you spend all this time, you spend all the 5 days listening to everything we're saying here, and you do not do anything, right? At best, you will be at the level of organized knowledge. Yes, your neighbor may call you and you say, wow, I attended this boot camp and I learned A, B, C, D. Okay, but if you don't do anything, right, it's not going to be of benefit to you, right? Now, just to drive home that point one last time, everyone, right, who's interested or who is successful in cryptocurrencies learns from someone else, okay? Everyone learns from someone else. Now, you can learn this thing on your own, right? You can go to YouTube and learn about cryptocurrencies. Absolutely, you can do that. But the challenge with that is you really don't know the incentive for the person who is talking to you on YouTube. Now, if you do a random search on YouTube on cryptocurrencies to invest in, I almost guarantee you the top 100 search results will have titles such as 5 coins to help you retire by December, 10 coins that will go up by 100 times by March, buy these cryptocurrencies so that you can retire your entire family. Those are the kinds of titles you will see on YouTube. The problem with that is you can't really be sure if That person has already bought the cryptocurrency, is making it urgent for you to buy it so that as you come in and buy it, the person sells and is making profit off you that's coming in late. That's the problem with YouTube. There are some good people out there on YouTube who have, good intentions and they're offering good information, but you need to be careful about who you're listening to. And that moves us into the second point, which is mentorship. Okay. Mentorship really is about finding someone who has the results that you're looking for. You study what they do and you do what they do, right? There's no need reinventing what has already been done. Okay. I talked about people or elite players or coaches or athletes who all have coaches, right? So no matter the football team, there will always be a head coach, right? So you don't just have players, no matter how talented, you don't just send them out, to go and play a game without, a head coach giving instructions on the particular patterns of play that they should use. Even as fantastic as Usain Bolt was as an athlete while he was still active, he had a coach. Now, his coach could not run as fast as him. Okay, but that's not the point. The coach knew how to drive him to get the results that Usain Bolt was looking for. So you need to find somebody who knows what they are doing, study what they are doing, and then do it. Right? That's really what mentorship is. If you decide to do this on your own, it's going to take you longer. You'll be experimenting with your own money, and you will waste time that you could have used to do something else. The last thing here is strategy. So it's all very well to say you have education. It's all very well to say you have mentorship, but if you don't have the specific strategies on how you're going to make money, right? I mean, what have you gained? Nothing, right? You just filled your head with garbage. So strategies, we are speaking about how you will make profit. So this is the how now, okay? Now, let me make 2 points here, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow when we're on day 4. The strategies you implement in cryptocurrencies have to be tied to your long-term objectives. It means that before you decide to invest in cryptocurrencies, you must know what your objectives are. Okay, so objectives can be the specific amount of money that you want to make. Okay, if I talk to 10 people, just random people who say they are interested in cryptocurrencies, and I ask, okay, so what's your objective for investing in cryptocurrencies? You know what 9 of the 10 people tell me? I want to make money. Okay. So if I remove 1 naira from my pocket and I give it to you, you've made money without using cryptocurrencies. Okay. And then they smile and say, no, I want to make a lot of money. That's even worse. But what do you mean by a lot of money? How will you know if you've achieved your objective or not? So you need to know the specific dollar value that you want to make, or the specific percentage that you want to make in this space. Because once you have those objectives, and now this is the value of mentorship. If you're checking those objectives with your mentor already has the results. The mentor will tell you, hey, calm down. What do you say? You want to make 1,000,000% in 1 month? Calm down. You will fall for scams. Okay, let's build something that is more realistic. So that's where a mentor will help you. Otherwise, you just sit down in your house and then you'll be doing money more. 5%. I want to make 5%, from cryptocurrencies. How do you know that is even possible, right? Whether it's 5% a day or 5% a year, how do you know that it is possible? So you need to know what your long-term objectives are. And then after you know your objectives and your strategies, you need to have specific plans. So you need to know, how are you going to achieve your objective using the strategies that you've identified? Okay, so that basically means when you wake up in the morning every day, right, what are you doing, or what are you supposed to be doing, right, in order to achieve your objectives? So if you find yourself, waking up in the morning and your routine goes something like this. So you wake up in the morning, you're interested in investing in crypto. So what do? You open Instagram, you go to the explore page, and because you've been searching on crypto, everything in the explore, the discover page in Instagram, it's all crypto. you know, and you see, oh, this garbage collector retired after making $1 billion from crypto. You click, you follow that person. Then you go to the next post, and the next post says, these are the 10 coins that are going to jump in February. You follow that person. Okay, and you're just following random individuals. It's not going to work, right? So you need to wake up every morning with complete clarity in your head about what you need to do that day to achieve your objective. All right, so if this all makes sense so far, go ahead and type a 2 in the chat so that we'll make progress and move on to the next slide. Okay, fantastic. All right, so this is basically the framework for everything that we're going to do in day 3. Now, having spoken about this, let's get right to the exciting stuff, right? Which is the strategies that you can use to profit from cryptocurrency. Okay, now, just before we go into the strategies, I'm going to introduce one more tool that we did not talk about. I'll only talk about it briefly because we don't really need it today, but it's something you need to be aware of because it is very useful for your cryptocurrency journey. And that tool is something called TradingView. Okay, so TradingView is a free platform that shows you how the prices of different assets move or vary over time. So it's very easy for you to sign up, right? Just go to tradingview.com and you can sign up an account. And you know what? Let me just do a quick check in the chat. So if you know about or you're using TradingView already, can you put a 4 in the chat? Let me just test and see those who. Okay, so we do have some advanced students in the class. Oh, wow, a lot of people. Oh, good to know. All right, so I can basically shorten the introduction on this since you already know it. So TradingView is, this tool that helps you view the prices of assets. So I just thought to introduce this because I might be referring to it, in some of the examples that we'll talk about. Okay, so sign up, have an account, and you can add whatever instruments you want to look at, and you can just see how, prices of things vary over time. In this specific example, we have a chart of Bitcoin, against the dollar. So, Bitcoin has varied from about 28,000 on the 1st of January, 2021, and it ended last year somewhere around $45,000. Okay, so that's how you just view how the prices have varied. All right, so let's get right into the gist of today's conversation. Okay, so we talked about the different strategies that are available to you, right, to profit from cryptocurrency. And remember, we talked about 6 streams of income. Those 6 streams of income that you can get from crypto are also the different strategies that you can deploy in this space. So depending on how much time we've got, I think we'll be able to cover the first 3 today. But wherever we get to, it's fine. We'll do the other 3 tomorrow, right? When we're talking about the resources that you need to get started in the cryptocurrency space. So real quick, there's 6 ways that you can earn from cryptocurrencies, and these are 6 independent ways. What does that mean? It means that as a cryptocurrency investor, you can choose to focus on just one of these 6 ways and you'll be fine. Okay, or you can learn about the 6 different ways and you would also be fine. Okay, there's no hard and fast rule. So depending on which one is easiest for you to pick up, right, you may want to focus on that one to begin with. But I'll spend the time to explain all these different strategies. And as I explain each one, I will use examples, okay, so that you understand what each strategy is about and how to profit from it. But the main takeaway from today's class is that there are 6 different ways you can profit from cryptocurrencies, not just one, right? There's 6 different independent ways you can profit. Okay, good. So now that we've said that, okay, what are these 6 ways, right? So just to help you remember, right? Now you will notice a pattern here that we like to use words to help us remember things in this place, right? Okay, it goes back to the same point of education being organized knowledge. Because once you remember, crypto, okay, I can use the letters of the word crypto to remember the different ways I can earn, right? You are already better positioned than the masses who, they just hear a different terminology and they pick it up and they don't even know where it fits in the grand scheme of things. So C is for conventional. I'll explain all these things. R is rewards. Y is yield farming. P is a bunch of things, play to earn, metaverse, NFTs. They are all in this P bucket. T is trading, and I use O just to represent a bucket of other opportunities that you can use that don't really fit in the first 5 categories, okay? So these are 6 independent strategies that you can use to profit from cryptocurrencies. All right, so let's get right to it and let's look at the conventional way, right? And let's see what's possible. So this is the conventional way of earning or profiting from cryptocurrencies. And this is the one that many people know. So when people think about cryptocurrencies, this is what comes into their mind, or this is what they have heard, okay, about how you can profit from crypto. Now, what's this conventional way? The other name for it is buying and holding. So you use your real world money, you buy a cryptocurrency asset, you hold it, the price goes up over time. And when you're satisfied with how much price has appreciated, you can sell some or all of it and make a profit, right? So that's straightforward. If you're here and you have a background in buying and selling shares, whether shares of Nigerian companies or shares of US companies or any other companies, or any country really, if you're familiar with buying shares, you are very familiar with the buy and hold strategy, because this is what most long-term stock investors do. Okay. Now, probably the other reason you have heard about buying and holding is because of the kinds of profits that you may have seen or heard on social media. Now, I've used 5 examples here to illustrate the point, and just to show you how much price appreciated if you had bought each of these cryptocurrencies on the morning of 1st January 2021, and you sold at midnight, 31st December 2021. So basically, you only looked at the markets for 2 days last year. You woke up in the morning, you bought Bitcoin on the 1st of January, you continued doing what you were doing, and then just before midnight on the 31st of December, you sold your Bitcoin, right? How much profit would you have made? You would have made 60%, okay, or 1.6 times whatever it was that you invested. So, excuse me. So this is what happened last year. Now, does this mean that you look at this slide and you say, wow, if this is what happened last year, wow, I missed 1st of January 2022. Let me immediately go and buy Bitcoin now, and hopefully it will go up by 60% by December this year. Well, you know what we say in investing: past results are not a guarantee of future performance. Okay, but we'll come back to that. Let's focus on the different examples. So this is Bitcoin, right? This is, okay, we'll say, let's just say Ethereum, right? Even though the technical name for this cryptocurrency is the Ether. Okay, Ethereum is the network, Ether is the cryptocurrency itself. So same thing, if you bought Ether on 1st January 2021 and you sold it on December 31st, the price went up by 5 times. So whatever you invested, you made 400%, okay, on that number. Okay, this other cryptocurrency is called Cardano. Cardano went up by 620%. This is AVAX. Okay, it went up by 3,000%, or 34 times what you invested. And this is Sol. which is the currency of the Solana network, which went up by 112 times. Where did I get these cryptocurrencies from? Well, you remember that one of the things we looked at on the first day was a website called CoinGecko, right? So let's bring CoinGecko here so that we can see where those cryptocurrencies came from. So essentially, these are the cryptocurrencies I talked about: Bitcoin, Ethereum. Can somebody tell me why I did not talk about Tether on that chart? This is something we did on day one. Why didn't I talk about Tether? Fantastic. Tether is a stable coin. So remember what we said on the first day, that there are two types of digital currencies. You have the ones that are designed to fluctuate in price, and you have the ones that are designed to be stable in price. Okay, so Tether is a stable coin. So if you bought Tether 1st of January 2021 and you sold it in December 2021, you will have exactly the same amount in US dollars. Okay. Well, if you use Naira to buy it, you may not have been in a bad place, actually. So you might still have made profits, based on the exchange rate, the dollar to Naira exchange rate. But I mean, here we are talking about earning in dollars. So, just keep your mind in that space. So examples, I use Bitcoin, Ethereum. I didn't talk about Binance Coin. I didn't talk about Ripple. Those ones are also designed to fluctuate in price. But I talked about Cardano, I talked about Solana, and this AVAX here. So those are the different cryptocurrencies that I talked about. So these are cryptocurrencies all in the top 15 on this list. But somebody is asking me the question now, and I don't mean somebody on the chat, but probably in your mind, you're saying, okay, I mean, it's easy in hindsight to pick these examples and say, oh, Bitcoin did this and Ethereum did that. How do you know which cryptocurrency to buy so that you can profit from potential price appreciation? Because contrary to popular belief, cryptocurrencies do not always go up in price. I mean, that's one of the reasons I wanted to show you TradingView, okay? Because this is where Bitcoin started from, right? Went up, came down, went up, down, up, down, up, down, came down. In July, went up again, eventually in November, and then came down towards the end of the year. So it's not an up-only direction, okay? And I like to say one of the reasons buying and holding is difficult for people is they tend to get emotional when the price is moving against them. So you can imagine the euphoria you would have felt if you bought Bitcoin here in January, and how you would have been smiling in April. You would almost become arrogant, wow, I'm finally going to quit this job that I hate. Wow, look at what Bitcoin has done. It has gone from 28,000 to 63,000. Oh, wow, it's going to the moon, as they say, right? And then, from that point in April, it just starts this slow descent back to almost the same level that you bought it 6 months before, right? So that's why buying and holding it can be an emotional roller coaster if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so cryptocurrency prices do not only move up, they go up, they come down, they fluctuate, right? Because market participants are reacting to what they think is happening. Okay, but back to the question about how would you know which cryptocurrency to buy and when to buy it and how long to stay there. And that's the value of education. Okay, education helps you understand the research that you should do. Okay, so you do not buy Bitcoin because the name is Bitcoin. There is a reason. Actually, there are 5 reasons why you should buy any cryptocurrency, but we'll come to that on day 5, right? Once you understand that 5-star approach for researching any cryptocurrency, that gives you confidence, right? That the cryptocurrency you're looking at makes sense for a likely buy. But that's just the what, okay? The difference between people who make money in cryptocurrencies and people who lose money is this second point here, the when, right? It depends on when somebody got in and when that same person got out. That's the difference between those that make money and those who lose money, okay? For most people, this when is guesswork, okay? So what is guesswork? Guesswork is, building consensus from 1,000 social media channels. So you check YouTuber A and they say buy Bitcoin. You check the second person on YouTube, they're saying buy Bitcoin. You check the third, and maybe by the time 10 of them say buy Bitcoin, then you enter and you buy. Okay, that's a very, very quick way for you to lose your money. Okay, there are rules or techniques that you can use to analyze the charts or research what is going on, right? Which will give you a high probability. It's not a 100% guarantee. It's a high probability of when you should buy a certain cryptocurrency or not. And that's where education comes in. I think the most important part of education is giving you a guideline or a frame of thought about how much you should invest in any cryptocurrency. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so let's use this chart again as an example. Right? For some people, right, because they want to take the guesswork out of cryptocurrency. Let's say they have $100, right, and that's what all they have to invest in crypto. But they are not sure if the thing is going to go up in price or if it's going to go down. So you know what they do? They'll take maybe 1% of that $100 and then they use it to buy cryptocurrency. Then when the price goes up significantly, I mean, they only used $1. So how much profit are you really going to make? So with education, you will develop the confidence to invest a reasonable amount with cryptocurrency, while still knowing clearly when you should get out, okay? Now, there are two reasons why you should exit a purchase in cryptocurrency. One, you hit your profit target, and two, you hit your loss target. So if you're here and you do not have a loss target and you've just bought cryptocurrency and you're like, this thing will go up in price, and you would likely have been one of those people who bought it here, waited, it went all the way up to the top, you didn't take any profit, it came all the way back here, you say, I've learned my lesson, I won't do that again, right? And then it goes up again and you're like, oh wow, and then maybe it's going to go up from here, why should I take profit? And then it came back all the way down again. Yeah, you're likely going to be one of those people right, that they're just holding on to Bitcoin and they will never sell Bitcoin in their entire life. I don't know why you would do that. Anyway, the lesson here is you need to know when to get in and you need to know when to get out. And that's what education does for you. All right. Okay. So 3 things just to wrap up. Education will help you identify which cryptocurrency to get involved in. Remember, when we showed CoinGecko, there are over 12,000 cryptocurrencies, right? With all sorts of names, okay? You can't monitor the prices of 12,000 cryptocurrencies. You have a life. There are other things to do with your life, okay? So you shouldn't sit down and be staring in front of your computer every day because you're trying to make money, okay? So with understanding how to do research, you will know what to buy, when to buy, which is when do you get in and when do you get out, and how much, which is something called risk management. How much should you put in on any single investment that you're making? Okay, because you need these 3 elements to build a profitable portfolio. All right, I think we've made the point about conventional, that yes, you can make interesting amounts of money just from buying cryptocurrencies and holding them in your wallet. Okay, so if that all makes sense, you can put a 3 on the chart, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, the next way you can make money, and I think this is where things begin to get interesting. Now, this second way you can earn from cryptocurrencies is a particular favorite of mine. Okay, all right. So I know I've used the term passive income, and I don't really like using the term passive income because I think it has been abused to the point nobody even really understands what this means. But I think this is truly one way, right, that you can get cryptocurrencies to work for you. And you don't need to monitor the charts or figure out what is going on while you're doing this. Okay, now, before I got involved in the cryptocurrency space, I was like most people, right? I would keep a significant portion of my money in the bank, my beloved bank. Let's not put the name of the bank here. Let's not upset anyone in case one of you here works works at the bank. All right. So if you're familiar with the way savings accounts work here in Nigeria, you know that I think the current interest that you can earn on your savings account is about 3.5%. Okay, so that's how much you can earn if you just leave your money in your savings account. However, you know that there's a caveat to that, right? That if you make a withdrawal more than 4 times in a month, right, that you are no longer eligible for the interest for that month. But let's say you're very, very disciplined and you keep a sum of money, say like 100K, or let's even say 10,000 naira. Let's say you put that in your savings account from January to December, you would have earned 3.5% on top of that 10,000 naira. That's what your bank does for you. To add further insults to the injury, the interest you earned was in naira, right? To make matters worse. Okay. Now let's just share a couple of things, right? Because the way some of us leave money in the bank is as if your bank has promised you that, I don't know, that they will give you a gift at the end of the year or something. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why cryptocurrencies are popular. But let me share some information with you, because remember what this whole bootcamp is. It's about giving you education that will add value to you. Okay, and you may be surprised if you're in Nigeria and you own the type of account I'm talking about now. You may be surprised about what I'm about to show you. All right, so let me do a quick test on the chart. How many of you here on the chart own a current account? Can you put a 4 in the chat if you own a current account? Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you for money. So fantastic. We have a lot of people who have current accounts here. Okay. So how many of you earn interest on your current account? Can you put a 5 on the chat if you earn interest from your current account? Okay. So your current account is the type that pays you interest. What? Is the chart frozen? I'm not seeing any movement. I was actually expecting to see things scrolling and everything just stopped. Okay, so I was doing some research, right, a while back, and please don't be upset, don't be angry, don't break your laptop or your cell phone based on what I'm going to show you. Okay, just don't be angry. All right. So let me just show you this document, because yes, some of you have noticed I wear glasses, and yes, I'm one of those people you will say is an efiko. He likes to research. So I was just interested that, okay, every time I make a transaction, I see this charge, that charge, as in where do these charges come from, right? There must be a document that says, okay, this is how much you should charge people, right, for doing transactions in Nigeria. So I came across this document, right, which you can see is an official document. I got it from the CBN website, the guide to charges by banks and other financial institutions. Oh, and I was happy. Okay, so let me just go through and see what's here. Okay, so let me just take you to page 8. So I'll start here with your savings account. So this is why they pay you 3.5%. Okay, so this is interest on deposits that you're making. So savings accounts is a minimum of 30% of the monetary policy rate, which is 11.5% per annum. So 30% of that is 3.5%. And that's why they won't pay you if you make more than 4 withdrawals in a month. Okay, so they won't pay you interest that month. But look at the first one for those of you who have current accounts. For a current account in credit balance, the interest rate is negotiable. Okay, Now let's scroll down, right? Before you get annoyed. And you know that the footnote was number 1, right? So what does it say for number 1? The responsibility for initiating the negotiation of interest shall be at the instance of who? The customer. So what does this mean in English? If you don't go to your bank and tell them and demand that they pay you interest on your current account, guess what? They won't pay you the interest. They are not obliged to pay you the interest. Okay. So imagine, even though it's not even a lot of money you put there, right? Your bank accounts officers have been sitting on money that legally belongs to you. And none of them called you one day and said, do you know that you can earn interest on your current account, right? So think about whether the banks really have your interest at heart. This is a CBN document. So this is not some random, site that I went to, okay? I went to the CBN website to download this thing. And remember, it was because I was looking for the basis for account maintenance charge, stamp duty charge. I just said it has to be somewhere, okay? Even for domiciliary accounts, whether it's a current account or a savings account, guess what? The responsibility for initiating the negotiation of interest shall be at the instance of the customer. So you have a current account, your account officer did not pay you interest, your bank did not pay you interest. So you see now how the banks are able to generate 200 million naira profits over 6 months, all right? Or even billions of naira in profits over a few months, because all this money that they should be paying to the customer is not even aware of their rights, right? I brought this example up to show you what education can do for you, right? You might be there thinking, you know what, I'm very, very knowledgeable. I know all this. In fact, my wife or my husband works in the bank. Right? So I should know this by now, but well, if they told you, that's fine. If they didn't, well, maybe they even didn't know, right? Because but this is what's there. So some of you will have fun talking to your account officers from tomorrow and saying, I saw this thing in the CBN guide. What does it mean? And they'll now start telling you, you need to write a letter, to get this money and that money. But anyway, that was the point I just wanted to make. The point here is about education, right? And that if you're just leaving your money in the bank, there are significantly better things that you can do, right? And that's where education comes in. All right, so let me show you 3 examples real quick using 3 different cryptocurrencies. Now, remember, cryptocurrencies go up and down in price, but if you have the skill and the ability for you to analyze potentially when a cryptocurrency is able to go up in price, you can take advantage of this second way of earning, right? And earn interest on top of the price appreciation, okay? So this cryptocurrency that you see here is called Polkadot, okay? Now, there are websites where you can deposit Polkadot and you earn 12% per annum. Remember, that 12% is on top of any price appreciation that you see. So the price appreciation is separate, okay? And then you earn interest on an asset that is appreciating. A simple way to think about this is, for those of you who buy shares, this is like dividends that they are paying you because you're buying a stock. Okay, and that's one of the reasons that some of you buy certain stocks, because you say historically they pay a lot of dividends, right? So that's why you buy the stock, so that you can get dividends every quarter or every so often. Okay, so this is where we now start showing you the example so that these things come alive to you, right? And they make more sense. Now, where can you deposit or stake Polkadot so that you can earn 12% a year? Now, remember that one of the websites that we talked about when we talked about centralized exchanges is Kraken, okay? So if you give me a minute, I'll go ahead and sign into Kraken. Now, because this is a live account and I trust all of you here, I will do that sign in on a different screen. Okay, and then when I'm signing, I will bring this back here, okay? Because I have to put in a 2-factor authentication code. So you can see that I'm following what I'm teaching, right? So give me a minute. Let me just put in the code from my phone and sign in. Fantastic. All right, so now I can bring this here. So once you've signed into Kraken, so same website, right? And you come to this earn section, you will see a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you can deposit or you can stake on this website. And as you're staking them here, you can earn a reward. So let me blow this up so that you can see what we're talking about. So this is Polkadot that I referred to, and you can see it's 12%, right? Now, how do you know this is 12% a year? You see there's an asterisk here by reward. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it says reward rates reflects the annual percentage rates. Okay, so this is 12% fixed. Okay, you have another cryptocurrency called Kusama that if you stake here, that's you buy it and you deposit it here, right? You can earn 18% a year on top of that. Or there's Kava, another cryptocurrency that you can earn 23% a year on. So that's how staking works. Now, you are not buying these cryptocurrencies because of these rewards, okay? You're buying them because you've analyzed their movements in price over time, and you believe that there is a good chance of them going up in price so that you can earn this interest on top of price appreciation. So that's how you add two different strategies together for it to make sense. There is no point buying Polkadot, the price is going down, you say I'm going to hold it because I'm earning 12% a year. That makes no sense, okay? So you need to do some work to figure out the right time to buy Polkadot so that as price is going up, you can also earn this reward as well. So live example for you to see, should I show you one of the websites, Kraken, where you can stake different cryptocurrencies and earn a reward. All right, so let's move on to a second example. We talked about this cryptocurrency here, and it is Terra USD. So let me just show you the cryptocurrency again so that you can see that. And thank you for not annotating on the screen. All right, so Terra USD, that's number 18 here, right? It's a stable coin, so it doesn't vary in price. But you can deposit this stable coin on the website and you can earn interest on it. The particular website is called anchorprotocol.com. Let me go ahead and put this in the chat, anchorprotocol.com, so that you have access. So I mean, you can have access to the website. Okay, so when you visit the site, what's the next thing you will see? You'll see this web app button over here. So if you click on that, it will bring you to this other page that shows you the interface for the website. Okay, now I'm going to go through this quickly. We'll have a separate session probably after the bootcamp for those of you who are interested in the specifics of how to interact with these websites. But I'm just showing you what these things look like and how they work, okay? Now, over on this main page for Anchor Protocol, you can see the total amount of money that is deposited on this website, okay? Now, just for clarity, this money doesn't belong to me, right? This is everybody who deposited money here, right? And yes, you're reading this correctly. This is almost 10 billion US dollars. How do we know this is US dollars? Because we talked about stable coins. One UST is effectively equivalent to $1 US. So you have about 10 billion, and that is with a B, 10 billion US dollars deposited here. If you come to the earn page, right, notice what you see, right, in the earn page. So if you deposit UST here, you can currently earn about 20% a year. So for those of you who think that is not remarkable, let me put it in context for you, right? Number one, you're leaving money in your savings account, and that money is earning you 3.5% a year. in Naira. Okay. USD is effectively dollars. So if you're depositing dollars here, you earn this flat rate. Okay. It varies somewhere between 19.4 and 20.5%, but they keep it within that tight band every year. So you're basically just depositing dollars here and you're earning 20% a year. So obviously, what does it then make sense to do, right? I mean, this becomes your savings account. So you have a cryptocurrency savings account that will earn you approximately 20% a year in US dollars. Okay. Now, for those of you asking, okay, how does it work? Does it work like a fixed deposit? You can withdraw your money at any time. So the time is 8:01 p.m. right now. You can deposit money now and withdraw all the money that you deposited at 8:02 p.m. today. Okay. Of course, they will charge you transaction fees for depositing and withdrawing, right? But you know, the point is there is no lockup period. You can take your money out at any time that you want. So you're earning 20% in US dollars. Now, I gave the example of the savings account, right? But you know, the other thing is, and when I talk to people about cryptocurrencies and what's possible, especially the older generation, many of them are comfortable with treasury bills. Okay, and they're like, no, this cryptocurrency thing, I don't even understand it. I don't even want to get involved. I don't want to lose my money. So I'm comfortable doing treasury bills. Okay. So, I mean, many of you will know this website. It's a popular website, right? Let's see what you can earn from treasury bills. So notice the title of this page. This is Fixed Income Best Sellers, right? So they are proudly announcing to you that if you invest 10,000 Naira, you earn 3.25% per year from a 30-day treasury bill. What did I just show you that will pay you 3.4% per year? Yeah, you're right. Your savings account will pay you more than this per year, right? But you still see people who are arguing with a lot of energy about how investing in treasury bills makes sense. Okay. Please, somebody put in the chat what the current inflation rate is in Nigeria, right? What's the current inflation rate for those of you who are savvy technocrats, or you monitor sites like Nairametrics and all those things? Who knows what the inflation rate is in Nigeria? Okay, so while you're thinking about that, I think the current inflation rate is somewhere around 14 to 15%, right? It's double digits. So, okay, 16%. Thanks for putting that on the chat. Okay, so 16%. So imagine everything that you see on this page, right? The government releases treasury bills or T-bills, and almost every time they release treasury bills, these things are oversubscribed. Okay. And people are rushing to buy these things to earn less than what you would earn by leaving the money in your savings account. And you're earning this in Naira. So don't scoff at earning 20% in US dollars. Okay, some of you here who are the more savvy ones who say, but this is a website now. How do we know that our money is not going to disappear, or we're not going to lose it, or this, that, or the other? Okay, well, guess what? Okay, if you're really, really concerned, you can buy insurance for what you're doing here. Okay, and protect yourself against a cyber attack or some other incidents that you're worried about. Okay, insurance currently goes for around 3% a year. So even if you remove 3% from this 19.8%, you're still earning approximately 17% a year in dollars. It's a no-brainer. Okay. All right. So again, the power of education, we're using this for a staking example, or how to earn rewards passively, so that even though it's a stable coin that you're depositing here, you can still earn decent rewards on that. Okay. But some of you are more aggressive, and you want, higher numbers, right? So you've seen 12% a year, you've seen 20% a year. Yeah, there are several opportunities in crypto that can earn you more than 100% APY. Some of you who are used to traditional finance, you'll be squeezing your face and you'll be like, 900% in 12 months. How is that even possible? Well, this number has even come down. It used to be 8,000%. Just if just if you're wondering, right? But again, let me show you what that website is, and it's a website called Olympus, right? Where did that number come from? I mean, you can see it here. The current APY for staking on this website is 941%. Now, does this mean that as I speak to you, you should immediately open Olympus and put your life savings there because you've seen 941% here? Absolutely not. Remember what I said. You need to do research to understand how the price of the cryptocurrency is moving or likely to move so that you can earn this interest when the price is going up. Okay. All right. Now, I know I haven't explained how you can, use your wallet, to interact with this website, but I wanted to give you this overview of earning rewards first, before, we'll probably have some other time where we can look at the specifics of how you can connect your wallet to this site and earn. All right, so that's it on the second way you can earn from cryptocurrencies. Remember, we started off with the conventional way, and then there's rewards, right, where you're earning passive income. Let me use this one, and we'll close here, and we'll do the last 3 examples tomorrow in day 4. So this is something called yield farming, right? Now, yield farming is similar to, yield farming is similar to rewards, but in rewards, what you're doing is you're depositing a single cryptocurrency and you're earning interest on it. Okay, but with yield farming, you're depositing a minimum of 2 different cryptocurrencies, which means you must have bought them from somewhere. You're depositing them on those websites, and then you're earning interest on, the cryptocurrency that you deposited. So to give you an example, this is a website called TriSolaris. Let me just open it and show you where that example comes from. So this is TriSolaris, right? I will put a link to it on the chat. Yes, so it gives you opportunities to participate in something called, these individual boxes are called farms. And for each of these farms, you can see that there's 2 different cryptocurrencies. So the one I showed you was this one. So there's a cryptocurrency called TriSolaris, and then there's a cryptocurrency called USDT. Obviously, you've seen USDT before. We talked about it on day 1. It's a stable coin. Okay, so TriSolaris is a volatile cryptocurrency. USDT is a stable coin. If you deposit equal dollar amounts of TriSolaris and USDT in this box, you will currently earn 173% a year. Okay, so that's a way that you can benefit from yield farming. Now, one of the reasons I like yield farming is, especially in this case where one of the cryptocurrencies is volatile, if you've done the analysis properly and TriSolaris is going up in price, the value of what you deposited will also be going up in price. And as that's going up, you will still be earning this 173% on top of what you deposited. Now, do be aware that generally over time, these percentages go down. Okay, but 173%, that's still pretty decent, even if it holds for a couple of months. Okay, so that's the yield farming example. And you can see that there's other things that you can do here. There's other cryptocurrencies that you can deposit. Now, let me just say something. When it comes to yield farming, there are more than 500 websites like this that are out there. So the same way you have 12,000 cryptocurrencies, you have more than 500 websites like this where you can deposit cryptocurrency and where you can earn. In fact, there are some where you can earn, thousands of percent a year. Now, how do you select which one to get in? Okay. Apart from being able to do the research on which cryptocurrency is valuable and which is not, okay, you need to also understand whether there's credibility behind the project. Now, remember I said that there is a 5-star model for analyzing cryptocurrencies, which we'll do on day 5. So by the time we get there, you will understand how to do the research to figure out which cryptocurrencies are good to add to your portfolio. All right, because that's important for you to know. So you don't just look through these things and then you see maybe something here showing 20,000% and you say, thank God, this is my ticket to, financial independence, and you again put all your money in there. Yeah, you will likely be shocked after a few days when you can't find your money. So you need to do the research, know which projects that you're putting it in, and more importantly, know when. So the fact that I've shown you Trisolaris today on the 8th of, or is it the 9th of February, does not mean you should go and invest here, especially if you've not done the research. So, okay, so what is this about? As in, why is it useful? How do I know I will not lose money, right? You need to do that research first before you try putting money anywhere, okay? Okay, so that's the third way that you can earn. When we bring this back tomorrow on day 4, we'll go ahead and talk about, an area that probably most of you have heard of, metaverse, NFTs, and how you can profit. I'll give you a few examples as well. We'll talk about trading, which is how you can profit from cryptocurrencies, whether the price goes up or down, or it doesn't even go anywhere, right? How you can profit from cryptos that way. And I'll give you examples from these others categories, right? So some of you probably got into cryptocurrencies because of something called an airdrop. So what's an airdrop? So basically an airdrop is free cryptocurrency that, maybe a project just gives you because they want you to use their website. So these 2 examples you see here are specific examples that happened to me in the last 6 months, right? So you're just doing something and then somebody says, oh, because you used this cryptocurrency, come and take $2,000 worth of another cryptocurrency. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? But this is cryptocurrency. If you come here with your knowledge of traditional finance, you are going to be struggling here because things work very, very differently here. These things that we are looking at, they are not just currencies, they're actually technologies. They enable other use cases. That's why they are useful, not just because we are buying and selling them. They have other use cases. So that's something you need to be aware of. And also tomorrow, I'll be talking to you about lending and borrowing. Now, this part is going to sound very ridiculous, but there are cryptocurrency websites that will pay you to borrow. So let me say that again, okay? The websites want you to borrow cryptocurrency, and for borrowing cryptocurrency, they will pay you money. So just to be clear, borrowing is when, somebody is giving you crypto that they own. So you don't own the cryptocurrency, you are borrowing it. So let's just be clear. Lending is when you are giving the cryptocurrency. Borrowing is you're receiving it, right? You don't own it, but you're receiving it. There are websites that will pay you to borrow cryptocurrencies. It's amazing what's possible in this space, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. All right, so I think that gives us some time to go through a few questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the chat. If there's something that you want me to talk about, maybe one or more of the areas you want me to go over real quick, I'll spend about 10 minutes or so answering questions if there's any questions. So just go ahead, feel free, put your questions in the chat. For those of you who are wondering, yes, the link is going to be made available once we're done here. And then I'll send it out to everyone so that you can watch this again and start implementing these things, okay? Remember, from tomorrow, we'll pick it up with the last 3 ways that you can earn. Fantastic. So there is a number of questions. Let me take the easy one first, right? Because I've seen that question about the difference between APR and APY, and I'll explain that. Okay, but let's take TradingView. So someone wants us to talk about TradingView, right? So there's nothing magical about this platform. TradingView at least the free version of TradingView allows you to view how the prices of different assets are varying over time. Okay, so don't worry now about, you don't need to know anything about candlesticks and all that. Just know that this thing represents how price moves over time. That's what's important about TradingView. And you can see over on the right here, on my own TradingView. TradingView allows you to add the different assets that you are interested in monitoring, right? So there's a couple of things that I'm obviously interested in crypto. So this one that you see here is Bitcoin against the dollar. And one more thing I would say is you can view this thing over different time intervals, right? So right now, one red bar that you see here or one green bar that you see represents how price moved over the course of one day. Okay, you can change the time frame and look at the price movements over shorter periods of time. But the real gist of the matter is TradingView just allows you view or see how prices of assets change over time. So this one is for Bitcoin, right? I can scroll down, look for Ethereum, click on it, and it has changed to Ethereum, right? So it's just showing me how things are varying over time. All right, so what else do we have? So hope that made sense. Okay, now someone asked the question, and this is a very important question, right? When we were talking about Anchor Protocol is APY, right? When we were looking at Trisolaris, the rewards in Trisolaris are paid in APR, or when we were looking at Kraken, right? So these Kraken rewards were in APR. So that's very observant for you to notice the difference, right? So there's a difference between APR and APY. So let me explain the difference very, very simply, okay? APR, when you have APR in percentage terms, what it means is if you divide that APR, right, by the number of months that you have, that's how much you'll be earning every month. So what does that mean? If you see something like Polkadot, right? And Polkadot is currently 12% APR. It means if I hold Polkadot for 1 month, they will pay me 1% interest at the end of the month. Okay, where did I get 1% from? It's 12% APR divided by 12. Okay, so it's 1% per month. Okay, and they will pay me that. So if I have 100 polka dots, that's quantity now, not dollars. If I have 100 polka dots and I just put it on this website, at the end of 1 month, they will pay me interest 1% of that 100. Okay, and that's 1 polka dot. So at the end of 1 month, they will add 1 polka dot to me. At the end of another month, they will calculate 1% of 100, not 101, 1% of 100, and they will give me another 1 polka dot. At the end of March, 1% of 100, and then they give me 1 polka dot, right? Now, that's APR. APY, with APY, you're compounding the rewards that you are getting to your balance. So your balance is increasing every month. How do I mean? Let's start with the same 100 polka dots. If this was APY, right? They would calculate how much I've earned at the end of 1 month. And let's say at the end of the first month, right, is 1%. Then they'll add 1% to my balance. So now I have 101. At the end of the second month, they will calculate 1% of the new balance. Okay, so what I will get as interest will be slightly more than 1 polka dot. So that's continuous compounding. And as a matter of fact, that's what they do in your savings account. That's why I use APY in your savings account, because they calculate how much, is in your balance, and then, your balance is continuously compounding. Okay, so that's the difference between APR and APY. Easy question. Are we using the same Zoom link for tomorrow? Yes, you don't need to register again. You know, subsequent registration opportunities are only for those who have not registered before. Now, does Anchor give a reward in addition to the 20% ROI? There are other things you can do on Anchor protocol to earn from there, but the specific example I showed is the savings account. So for that savings account, if you deposit money, you earn 20% approximately APY. All right. So that's just that example. There are some other things you can do on Anchor protocol, but I don't want to get into that or confuse the class. Okay. Quick question. Can a new trader borrow crypto? Absolutely. So remember, to borrow crypto, all you would need is your MetaMask wallet connected to the site. There's a few other things involved, but there is no way they can tell if you're a new trader or an old trader, right? So you can create a MetaMask wallet today and fulfill the conditions and borrow crypto. They don't know who you are, right? Your child that is less than 10 years can borrow crypto, right? They don't know it's a child that is borrowing. Okay, question. Can you withdraw your funds anytime you do yield farming? And the answer is, for the vast majority of cases, yes. For this case that I showed you in Trisolaris, yes, you can withdraw at any time. Some other farms have certain restrictions. So some of them will allow you to withdraw all your capital, but only part of your rewards. And I'll show you one of those examples tomorrow. Okay, but generally you can withdraw at any time when you're participating in yield farming. What's better, yield farming or staking? Well, remember the context in which I provided this information. So why did we share this? We shared this because you need to know how to build a portfolio. Okay. Now, I did say you can focus on just one, right? And staking is under here. This is it's the rewards, right? So will you say one is better than the other? Not necessarily. The way I look at it is, excuse me, there are different things that you can do. So you need to be aware of the techniques. If you find that yield farming opportunities are more profitable than staking, then by all means, right, participate in yield farming. Or if you just want to spread your risk around, right, and you don't want to concentrate all your funds in one place, yeah, I mean, you can take advantage of staking and yield farming. Okay. So let me give you an example. With Trisolaris, you've seen now that you could earn, but potentially 170%, right? I might do some analysis on a specific cryptocurrency, and I believe that it may go up by more than 100% in the next 12 months. In that case, it is probably better for me to go stake that cryptocurrency than do yield farming. So it kind of boils down to your objectives, right? So when you know what your objectives are, it will help you figure out whether you should do one or both. All right, let's bring this here. Okay, now someone has poked the bear here now and has asked a very interesting question. I've heard about artificial intelligence trading bots. Do you have any thoughts on this? Yes, I have many thoughts of trading using robots. In fact, if you look at my Instagram page, there is a post there where I talk about 5 things that will cost you time and money relative to learning how to trade cryptos by yourself, right? The first thing on that page is trading bots. Now, let me give you the short answer. And since you've asked the question, in fact, I'm probably going to do a dedicated video, whether one video or a number of videos about trading bots, because some of you do not know, but I do have several years of experience writing trading bots for Forex, not for cryptocurrency. So I know what I'm talking about. Trading bots can give you an advantage if you know what you're doing. My issue with trading bots is the vast majority of people don't know what they're doing. Okay. So you hear something like, my trading bot has 95% accuracy. And you're like, wow, 95%. Oh, that's fantastic. And then you invest your money in a black box. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, if you reach out to me on Instagram, I can give you 10 different trading bots that are 97% accurate or more. But when those trading bots will lose, right, all the money that you've made for the last 5, 6, 7 months, right, will be wiped out in 1 day or 2. And many people do not know how the bot they are using works. So if you're the person writing the trading bot by yourself, okay, by all means, you know what you're doing. But if you're just investing in something that has a brochure and somebody is telling you it is 97% accurate, it is 95% accurate, I have seen too many of these things in the last 5 years. So my thoughts are, I personally will stay away from trading bots unless I wrote the trading bot myself. Okay. And even if I write the trading bot myself, I will never sell it to you, because no matter what I tell you about how to use it, you will not follow it. Once you see profits for the first month, the second month, you will switch off your brain, okay, and start putting more money until the day you lose everything. The important thing about trading bots is you need to understand market conditions, right? No trading bot performs the same way in all market conditions. Okay, for example, there was a trading bot that made a lot of news last year, and that one was for crypto, because the crypto markets were essentially going up, right? But by the time we came to November and the markets were going down, the daily profits disappeared. That's where you now start hearing our website has issues. We will pay you next week. Instead of paying you weekly, we'll pay you every month. So guys, come here, learn this thing by yourself, right? For free, right? And if you are sufficiently sophisticated enough to learn how to write these trading bots, that's fine. There's a way to evaluate trading bots. We'll get to that, maybe in a different boot camp, but those are my thoughts at this time, all right? Okay, if you've created an exchange account with Gmail, what should you do? Well, that's really quick. That's quick. We answered this yesterday. Go ahead and change your email to Proton Mail, right? Google it, you'll see how to change your email, and you'll be able to do it. If you have apps on your phone, please, let me say this again. The only app I recommend that you put on your phone is Google Authenticator. So if you have Binance on your phone, remove it. Okay? If you have other cryptocurrency apps on your phone, please remove them. Okay? You cannot compare the security on your phone with the security that you can provide on a dedicated laptop. Okay? It will be very convenient for you. You will tell me, oh, yes, I travel a lot, I don't want to carry my laptop. The day you lose all that crypto in your phone, right, you will realize that a laptop is not heavy. Okay, so for this one, I am not apologetic. I will tell you the way it is. Please use a laptop for the apps and for the websites. If you don't have one, invest and get one. It will save you in the long term. And when you buy a laptop, don't just buy a laptop and leave it. Ensure that you protect it, you have antivirus on it, and you're using all the practices to ensure that your laptop works properly, right? Don't just throw it around or drop it on the floor or be careless with it, okay? All right. Okay, so there's a question about, in traditional finance, you don't receive interest if you make a total of 4 withdrawals in a month. Is that the same for crypto? Nope. So like Anchor protocol, right? Which I showed you as an example. If you deposit money in it today, let's say you put $1,000 in Anchor, and then tomorrow you remove $10 5 times, right? They will still pay you interest. Just note that they calculate the interest based on your current balance. So if you're adding more money, your balance is increasing, they will pay you more interest. If you're removing money, they'll pay you less interest because you're removing money, right? Okay, thanks. I can see some people are helping out in the chat. I observed that Anchor also gives weekly airdrops. Yeah, they do. It's really tiny amounts. So that's why I didn't really talk about it. And it's not because of the weekly airdrops that you would go to Anchor protocol, right? It's not worth it. Would I be teaching how to trade? Not on this bootcamp. I will be showing you the strategies. I'll explain what I consider my personal philosophies. There will be an opportunity if you want to work with me. Now, I don't work with everyone, and I don't charge anybody money to work with them, okay? So if you want that access to, you know, a one-on-one working relationship, yes, you can reach out and we'll see if you qualify for it. Okay. So we'll basically see how committed you are, how much time you are, and what you're willing to do to really learn this skill by yourself. Okay. And there you'll see how I trade. And if how I trade is the same way you want to trade, then absolutely you can do that. Okay. All right. What else? Can one install Trust Wallet on a laptop? I assume it will be possible. Trust Wallet is a browser-based wallet like MetaMask, so it should be possible to install it on your laptop. How do you move things from your phone to your laptop? Well, you know what? Just reach out to me on IG and we'll deal with that. There's a question here about why Proton Mail versus Gmail. No, just watch the video for day 2. We explained in details why you know you need to use Proton Mail. Okay. Yes, I am primarily on Instagram for people who are trying to reach out to me. If you're not on Instagram, well, you know, I think my co-host did a good job of putting some of the other social media handles that you can reach me on. You know, so you know that's something else you can consider. Okay, I think we've gone through all of the questions here. Okay, exactly. You can reach me on Instagram and we'll take it from there. Thanks, Ayo, for dealing with that. How do you get the recording for today? Okay, so if you registered via Eventbrite to get the Zoom link, right, at some point tomorrow we'll send out the recording for today, right? And maybe we'll just go ahead and send. Okay, thanks. Ayo has put the links for the recordings for day 1 and day 2. So for this one, I'll go ahead and upload it to YouTube so that you can have access to it. All right. Thanks, everyone. I know this one was a long class. Remember, tomorrow the fireworks continue. We're going to be talking about, you know, everybody's favorite subjects, right? Play to earn, metaverse, NFTs. I'll give you an introduction, and you know, I'll show you a website where you can catch digital fish online and make money. It's ridiculous, right? But what you can do in cryptocurrencies. So we'll introduce NFTs tomorrow very briefly. We'll talk about, you know, trading, what you need to do to trade properly. And maybe this is where the question about bots came from. And then we'll talk about how you can lend and borrow and some of the more significant airdrops you can target. Thank you all for hanging in there. You know, it's been a full house today. I'm grateful to everyone who was here. Keep learning, practice what you learn, and I'll see you all in class tomorrow.